Is it on?
Yes.
Okay, had to get on YouTube, folks. Call the meeting in order. All the aldermen are here. Clerk Martin and Attorney Rocky Eden. If I could get Alderman Blake Nobles to lead us in the prayer and the pledge.
Father God, thank you for the chance to gather. Father, I just pray that you give us wisdom this day and show us guidance in the decisions that we make on behalf of the city and our constituents. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyway.
Hurt me at all.
Mess up with every time I roll full.
And it will.
It does.
Anyway.
Every week.
Hey, I want to, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Is
Uh,
there a motion to accept the consent agenda, number 1, 2, and 3?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
uh,
All righty, public comment. Dr. Morgan, come on up here. Feel like I've been hanging out with you all day.
Yeah, thanks for lunch.
Good
Appreciate it,
deal.
Mayor.
I just had the tea. That's pretty good tea, that.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Right. I did contact the State Dental Director Office of Oral Health for the Mississippi State Department of Health. Her name is Angela Filson, Dr. Angela Filson. And so I asked her again after you and I had kind of talked at lunch, and I gave her a call and I said through the MDA, and I said, this is a problem that we have. And so she said, as such, the board of the Department of Health will be meeting tonight in Jackson, and they will further discuss it, and she is going to include me in any kind of information on vendors, possibility
that'd
of
be good.
vendors, and whatever they may have to recommend as our next step to be able to provide fluoride and fluoridation for the city. So I said, please keep us posted, because we've done,
Mhm.
that's where I got that original list, and so I said, if there's somebody else we need to call or something else.
Mhm.
So that's my update for it all.
You know, and Philip and I actually had a conversation, Philip Laundrie had a conversation too. We were talking about another subject, got to talking about that. I thought it was kind of valuable. He wanted to go with the tablet form. And I think ours is the powder form we used in the past. And we probably, and there's, just for way of explanation to the board, we have 3 pumps that we put these things in and they pump it out. And unfortunately, we're going to have to double check them once this gets resolved and make sure they're working, because they haven't ran in quite some time. But I would think that'd be pretty simple.
And I understand today from this conversation, there's also a liquid form.
Yes,
So each carries its own way that you would dispense it.
we are staying away from the liquid form. I can go ahead and state that part of
And
it.
and
But
that's perfectly
we definitely want
fine.
to go. We would definitely want to go, because there's some issues with the other side of it. If it's not mixed properly, then something
Right.
good
It's
could
not right.
turn into something really, really bad.
Yeah.
So we want to stay away from that as best we can. I know our water operator was nervous even when we even mentioned it.
And there's-
But anyway, I think once it gets resolved, it'll be resolved. So going that route. Any questions or anything, guys?
We are talking about the state, not the city of Jackson, right?
The state of, you're right, right.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
This is not Jackson talking
We don't
about.
want anything to do with that.
State up
No,
in-
we don't.
the
Not
state
water.
up in Jackson. But anyway, no, I appreciate your diligence on this. But yeah, any information you give us via the
Okay.
dental association would be much appreciated.
We just keep kind of having to go through governmental channels, and they are slow. So, but I'll keep up my
Welcome
work.
to our
and see.
world.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
Welcome to
take
you.
all the help we
Thank
get
you
for
so
sure.
Thank you. I do
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much. All righty, Jessica Bird. Jessica always complain. I got a little a window here. I can't see nobody back
Fine,
there
I'm sorry.
or anything. How you doing?
Doing well, how are y'all? I'm Jessica Bird, I live at 725 South George. Since I moved here in September of 2021, I've been in contact with Mayor Ducker just regarding the traffic that we have through that street every single day, especially in the morning times and in the evening times. Mayor Ducker's been working with law enforcement, making sure they have the radar out, as well as some extra patrols. But it ceases, the traffic ceases and slows down for those periods. And then once people realize that those inhibitory
I hate
factors are
hate
no
to say it,
longer
but there's
there.
not a great place to hide on.
Oh, there's not.
In some
There's
areas.
not.
Not that we
Everything's
do
pretty
that,
wide
but
open, which is good because when you're walking as a pedestrian,
they
you
can
need to
see
be
you
able to see
too.
this
Yeah, they can
oncoming
see you
charging
too. Yeah,
car.
true.
I'm just bringing it to attention. I ran an online petition because I don't feel comfortable going door to door as a single female. But as we know, not everybody has access to internet or they participate in Facebook. So it's kind of difficult to figure out if I reached everybody. So I had 11 signatures. Obviously, only about 6 of them were viable. But I do have obviously some interest. I have some elderly neighbors across the street from me who've expressed interest in additional stop signs. I know that there was already a stop sign put in exactly maybe the month or so that I moved in, and that was wonderful. I was so excited about it.
You're
Thank
talking about the
y'all
one
so
right here
much.
on, at
It's
the end of West
at,
8th?
it's the one at yes, West 8th, yes. And so I was so excited about it. The gentleman that spearheaded the petition, went around with his wife.
A little,
And so-
a little backstory, I actually voted to take it down and then we put it back up, so. Times do change after a certain period of
Well,
time.
I appreciate it. I think it did help a little bit, especially with the children, because there are a couple of houses right there specifically, they play out in the yard a lot. But I digress. I think, in my opinion, that if we had a stop sign at West 7th and at West 9th, just thinking logistically, and I have my little petition in front of me, so I might read from it what I have stated, that way I don't lose my train of thought. But from the stop sign at West 8th Avenue, drivers build speed until the older stop sign at West 5th Avenue. We have to stop people from building speed by adding stop signs at the intersections of West 9th Avenue and South George Street and creating a 4-way stop at West 7th Avenue and South George Street. We could decrease this likelihood. So I'm not in any way suggesting that it's going to solve our traffic problem. But the main reasons people use that road, and I'm just going out on a limb here, is because it's not that avenue out there where they have to face stop signs, where they see the police patrol frequently, where they know that they're going to be hindered. And South George, there's no hindrance whatsoever. If anything, they see it as a raceway.
So if I could, I believe you're right. I've had this discussion with many people who I've been a passenger in the car with, and I have a problem when people cut through neighborhoods and sit down the main road. And the grief that the citizens on the road are going through, I completely feel it, and I understand. And the people who are doing it are thinking about getting to point A to point B as fast as possible. I know they don't mean you any harm or ill will, but you are suffering.
Yes. I was nearly
It's
run
hard
off the
to
road one
communicate
morning
that.
and
Yes,
called
and-
911.
And
on
it's
that.
constant. I've been in a similar situation in previous homes. I would very much be willing to support a stop sign, but before I would do such a thing, I would normally, talk to our police department and the mayor, who has regular conversations with our engineers and that kind of thing. I don't know if that's already happened or what the consensus of the board is, but I would definitely be willing to support that.
We did run some numbers recently after the last phone call. One of the things, and I don't know, I think we probably pitched it when WDAM first covered us getting the little radar trailer. We left it out and it confirmed one thing and then it kind of didn't confirm one thing. There's a ton of traffic on that road. Yeah. And what were some of the numbers? It can tell you, you can set it for, say, what's the speed limit out there? 30, I think it is.
It is.
And it can say X amount of cars came by. And it can say, there were 5, 10, 15, something like that, Chief.
It groups them every 5 miles an hour if they're over, or not actually over. The speed, it goes from 0 to 5, 5 or 6 to 11, things like that. So we know the speed limit is 30, so we just categorize it. Anything over 30 would be warranted to be considered to be looked at. Everybody knows in this room, but they don't have to tell them, there's a speed limit, and then there's what we would stop you for. If we stopped for everybody for speeding,
30.
we would.
Yeah, 1 mile or 2 miles over, you'd have a problem, yeah.
Yeah, and if we try to be courteous for that, so if it's 30, you're not gonna be in trouble for doing 35. Probably not gonna be in trouble for doing 40, and I'm not gonna go beyond that number, because again, I'm not gonna set myself up
Yeah.
for failure. But we did set the one you're referring to, most recently was, April the 17th. It actually got left out there by accident, overnight, which was good and bad. I guess it gave some real true numbers, but for 3 days, according to the trailer stats, which it records every vehicle that comes by, and it logs every speed and categorizes it for every 5 miles an hour. There was 3,300 cars traveling through there, which is a number that surprised me.
The first time you set it out, someone posted on Facebook and broadcasted that it was on South George. So that immediately did.
Yeah, some people think you're getting a ticket with that thing. Legally, we can't give you a ticket.
Right.
But
Um,
that
shouldn't say
shows
that, but,
that the problem
yeah.
is not just the speed,
Yeah.
but it's
The volume.
everyone, the volume of it.
And-
The stop
and
sign
it's-
would help decrease
And
that.
for me, it's not just me. I've worked in healthcare my whole entire career. There's an elder care facility. If someone goes out and happens to get out of those doors, they're not gonna be able to get out of traffic. And the same thing with the 3D school. I've watched a lady scramble to catch her 3 dogs in the middle of the road. So it's not only a safety thing, it's also, for my bodily safety, but also for the cars that go through there, their safety. I certainly am not advocating for speed bumps because I don't want one launched
Yeah,
into my front
I
window.
would never see speed, I
Um,
see us put speed, obviously
yeah.
I'll do whatever they say to do, but I don't see them,
Please
and I
don't do
wouldn't
that.
recommend them.
Um,
We've ran over the course of time, and I wasn't trying to be hard on you, but I know, and I have heard from some people that I've talked to over there that don't want the stop signs. Sometimes I can talk to an alderman and say, hey, what about a stop sign here?
yes.
And we'll go ahead and slap it up.
Yes.
I think this will be a little bit more
And they're the same
controversial, so
ones who
we've
will
got the
argue
same
with
one.
you that school sign does not exist.
Oh, yeah. And-
Or it says,
Chief, if you would, though, how many people,
Numbers.
of those 3,300, how many people would have gotten speeding tickets? So from that standpoint, and that's kind of what I get back, I
Yeah.
jog back there, and I know they might have seen the sign and all that stuff, the radar trailer. But I was being honest with you, the times we've done that, the stuff out there just wasn't overly impressive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's probably somebody speeding in the city of Petal right now.
But
and it's not just the speed though, it's also, like you said, the volume
Well,
of
especially
cars.
down there, it's really congested, and then it opens up a little bit more around you.
Right.
They're
People
bypassing.
hate that light.
And it's a little over a mile. I usually jog from City Hall and go around there. There's a little hill back there. I usually walk it. So sometimes you'll see it. And I even had talked with you about maybe 30's too much. I don't know.
Even if you decrease the speed limit, I had an
Speeding
argument.
doesn't seem to be the problem.
Yes,
Right,
that's
so I had
what
an
with,
argument with a
yeah,
lady.
from looking at those numbers, that just didn't blow my top off.
Not for this 3-day weekend. That's. you
For
got
that particular
33
one,
cars,
yeah.
3,300 cars.
And I've been out on the Gandy where it looks like, everybody's doing a Sunday stroll, and I've been out there where I was like,
If I could, and we've talked about this before, I've brought this up in the past, for years, most of my life, there was a 4-way stop at West 7th on South George. And I still find myself, I go to Petal Harvey, and a lot of times because of traffic leaving church, I'll go to 7th to South George to leave, to get out of the parking lot. And there's been a couple of times, even because of my program mind, where I still assume it's a 4-way stop, and I'm like, oops, sorry, I kind of have to apologize as I'm pulling out on that. If I can ask the question, what is the problem with stop signs? Is it one of those things, like if we were to come in and put, at least make that a 4-way stop again on West 7th? And talk about 9th, but at least on West 7th.
I think 9th would probably be more advantageous from what you would think, huh? Because it's such a long stretch from 8th to 10th.
I've got 7th and 9th on
Yeah.
there. I would be happy with whatever you guys come up with.
I guess
because-
my question is what, it's just kind of one of those things, I never really understood the huge objection to
So
a stop
I
sign.
did have a guy that complained about speeding, and then we put those stop signs back, and he complained about the stop sign. So
People
I didn't
complain
really
when they
know
were
what he
put out
wanted. I
there.
think he wanted a radar gun and a ticket book, but
So they complain when they're put out there and say they weren't notified
Yeah.
of it. If you drive on a road out of town, you're not notified of anything. So get your head out of your phone and
Yeah.
drive.
I like people who complain. That's how things get fixed.
Yeah.
So if anyone has a problem with it, they can come talk to us.
Do we know, when did those get taken out?
I don't know, it's
I don't
been,
remember that.
but like I said, I know for most of my life, it was a four-way and then just all of a sudden it wasn't.
So,
Mm.
but
And I
by
never really
removing those stop
understood,
signs allowed pressure off of our main streets.
I never really understood why.
It might have been a wise decision at one point to allow for fast travel, as a bypass, to take pressure off of Main Central, to take pressure off some of those other pressure points. The city's grown a lot since then. Those roads have actually improved a lot.
Guarantee what's happening is that as the traffic comes through, they stop at the stoplight up here. It backs up. They don't want to wait. They go this way.
And if there's enough waits, either way,
But even if
Heard them the right way.
if you're taking that as an alternate route, coming to a stop one or two more times, I mean, if that's like one of these things where you're gonna jump on the neighborhood page and cause all kinds of uproars or whatever,
Absolutely.
what,
Let them do it.
but what,
Now, I will say this, I
it's like,
probably
okay,
got,
so we're making it a safer area by doing
Which is our
that.
job.
Well, out of all
Protecting
the
the
people that commented when I put this post out, and I posted
I
it
wasn't talking
almost.
about you. I
Oh,
wasn't
no,
talking
but
about
I'm saying, on the petition, when I put it out every day for 5 days, because I didn't want to be overbearing. But out of all the comments that I received, there was only one lady who had an issue with it and was very nasty, but she's the same lady who posted months before because her son got pulled over in the school zone at 7:32. And he was not aware that was a school zone, so that's the same person. So I doubt you'd have any pushback.
oh no, there'll be some people in here. And the person most likely to be here will be the people that live around the stop sign, because they have to hear that beep all day.
Yeah, I mean,
And I never thought about that too, till I did. They were
you
like,
know what I hear? I hear,
I hear them all the time. And I like I said, I jogged through there today, but there wasn't enough traffic through there. I mean, I think I passed 6 vehicles from 10th on Main all the way through. But I mean, whatever the will of the board is, we'll act on there. It'd be nice if we had some of those portable stop signs that you could kind of put in and just see how they work. But it's just as easy, I guess, to slap it in the ground, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the portable stop signs, a lot of people don't want them, they'll throw in the back of the truck.
Dude, I don't even
I'll
believe
drop
it.
them off in a few days.
truthfully,
Guess I
and
walked into that one.
my initial thought was to look at lowering the speed limit, but like I said, I don't know that really is the concern.
Yeah.
It's something I've heard off and on for 12 years, not just from your situation, but in the past, have been asked the question of why did we remove these? I don't know. I can't really get a good answer of why it was done.
I'm like, yeah, I don't remember when it.
And so
Did we do it, or was it the
I'm
time?
really kind of at the point of, with it being my ward, I don't have a problem with us putting one at 7th and 9th. And if everything blows up and we need to readdress it in a year or something, then we figure that out. If it doesn't and things calm down and run smooth, then hey, we've slowed some people down in that area and
This is government, it will not run smoothly.
It's the
This
one
is
that-
government, this will not run smoothly. But yeah, whatever the will of the board is, Matt'll do whatever.
Our job is to allocate money and spend the funds as well as we can and for the safety of the people. Got one of Chief's guys that lives around the corner from me. Half his yard's being dug up and he signed away on it. He said it's for the betterment of the community, Craig. I want to hug him every time I see that because it's for the betterment of the community. If it saves one life, it's worth it.
Do we have 8 stop signs in storage or will be put out in the next week or so?
Now, you think you would only need, let's see, you would need 4.
I know we,
There's
there's
a
a
four.
zone queue up.
Well, there's a 3-way stop.
Okay.
Now, if you're gonna go in both spots,
just
That's what I'm saying. I think he's recommended folks.
Craig, just a little background. This has been an ongoing debate with me and some very close people for many years. I would love to see those stop signs.
I mean, we need 4 on South George is what we need.
yeah, it's got the 2 there and the 1 on the 9th. Seems like that'll be the most effective. Yeah, whatever.
I would say let's give that a shot and see how it works out.
Are you
And let's
making a
put
motion?
Craig's phone number on the Pell Facebook page.
Well, I
We
think
got
it's,
it on the back of the stop sign.
yeah, well, I think it's important, like Craig said, that's a residential street. So when you look at our code and what residential streets are used for, we are protecting the integrity and the property values and the citizens of the residents. If
people use it as a bypass or, church street car to get quicker, they'll have to deal with the residents who live in that area, which is, I think is the intent of the board.
We expect you to respond with a pseudo name on the neighborhood page.
My name
Your
is
motion?
anonymous.
For West Seventh and West
So
Ninth.
do I need to make a motion?
Oh,
for
yeah.
that?
Yes.
I'll second.
Motion to,
I'll second that.
yeah, Howard needs to be worded.
West Seventh and West Ninth.
Just on,
You better put me on that.
You want it to be an always stop
He's
at
your
those
alderman, by the way.
intersections?
I'm looking at,
I'm not sure that they're four ways, because there may be three.
West Seventh is a four-way, Ninth,
Would be three.
it would be,
But
Yeah,
always.
but they already have the other ones there, so
Yeah.
you only need 2 and 2.
yeah,
Is that right?
The ones on,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's
Yeah.
something that, like I said, we need to readdress later on, hey, we'll do that.
okay, got a motion, got a second? Did we get a second?
Yes, Gerald
Okay.
seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
No old business, let's get into general business.
I just got a complaint. I'm not kidding.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Is there somebody in here? Or y'all could have spoke
Somebody
up.
on the internet.
It's you.
Somebody in that board said they're not voting for you, Gerald, it's okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You're just Ward 6, but anyway. All right, general business. Number 4, request to approve the docket of claims for the month of April 2023.
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? Number 5, request to authorize disposal of 1 office chair in the water department. Francis Jackson, is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? No.
205.
No, we Red took it today and threw it away.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna ask
haven't authorized it yet.
if it was better than my chair.
It's just like these.
Y'all would have not approved it, red would be in
But
the
it was like
Have to go get it back.
dumpster
half
over
of the
there.
thing
I'd like to take
gone.
back my second.
No, I'm voting against it.
Number 7, too late, you'll have to change it in the minutes. Request to approve
6.
agreement with
6.
Owens Business Machine
What?
for a printer per
On here
state
and
contract
date.
pricing.
Go up one.
Number 6.
Checked off.
Oh, okay. Request to set a hearing date for May, I knew it was so simple. May 23rd, 2023 at 6 PM for property located at 205 William Street.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Oh,
Okay.
okay, discussion.
Okay, I'll add my eye to that. I don't want to get in the way of what's happening here. I would ask that some extra attention be paid towards the drainage issue. It's not like huge, it's not like it's, no one's dying over this. But it
Number
looks like
6.
we're on the verge of a problem in the area, and I think it could be easily fixed, with a little attention. I don't know if we need to pull an engineer on it or not. I don't think so. It looks like if we could just continue, the ditch down William Street to the creek, maybe enlarge some culverts and that kind of thing. And I know that they haven't even presented a plat or anything like that, but make sure that there's,
Taken care of.
that we're putting attention to
That sound
avoid
cool?
problems.
Yeah,
Yes.
we went down there, we discovered the issue the other day with rain. We jumped on it pretty quick, got the water out of there. If you go all the way down to the creek, you're gonna have to break that berm. So that actually goes down and takes a left and cuts back to the other road in between the house and the which is not letting the heavy volume of flow go out. I'm afraid if we take and we scratch that berm and let it go out to it, it's gonna erode the bank.
Okay. So we know right where to focus. Could we put some kind of riprap or something like that to prevent that? Do you have any ideas off the top of your head? I know I'm asking you right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That's not my intent, but my intent is there is an issue that should be addressed, and it would be best if we did that before construction and in the planning phase.
Yeah, I would have to sit back and study a little bit more, and get more detail with it.
Understood. I don't want to put you on the spot like that.
No, I'm fine with that. If I don't know that, I'll do some studying.
Right on, and the only reason I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I do have the board's attention, and I do want to make sure that this gets addressed during the planning phase of these new developments out there.
What's the issue over there? Because you can't tell from these materials. All I'm seeing is that it's a request for variance.
So, he's actually requesting a variance on setbacks, so that we could fit, I say we, 2 extra houses. This was originally spoken, with, Alan Flint, when he was, creating the plats when
Right.
she sold. And I do believe he left 2 off just because he felt there was
Flooding.
Yes. And, we did have, a statement from our engineer saying, basically, this is gonna have some floodage issues, the water's coming through here. So the 11 houses were made, and so now this water has to go in the ditch and go all the way around them to get to the ditch, potentially causing flooding in homes. Now, it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but judging on the amount of water in yards, out of ditches, and the amount of rain that we're getting, the potential is definitely there, and it doesn't look like too much would have to be done. We might need to enlarge a culvert or 2, and address what Matt was talking about, in order to prevent damages to homes.
Are you trying to get it back to Greens Creek? Is that where you're trying to get it to?
Well,
It does dump into Greens Creek.
the short answer, yes. A little more complicated than that, but short answer, yes.
See, I think one of the problems down there is you got 2 ditches that go straight back towards the canal. And then once it gets back there, it makes a hard left and goes in between some houses, which goes to the next road, which catches another ditch to take it back straight to Greens Creek because there's no berm built on that side. So it's one culvert catching 2 ditches that come through there.
I'm gonna warn you, clearing stuff out like that and putting riprap in there caused a problem with me coming off Oglesby towards my house. It's, sometimes you get unintended consequences. Be careful.
All right, got a motion, got a second?
Yeah, they all approve.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, number 7, request to approve agreement with Owens Business Machine for a printer. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request to set a hearing date of May 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. for the property of Petal Harvey Baptist Church.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request to adopt the MOU with the Mississippi Office of Homeland Security task per Chief Hendry.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10, request to terminate employee 21515 in the fire department effective April 7th.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request to adjust water services bill to 135 Stevens Street in the amount of $609.60 due to a leak. Is there a second?
Wait a minute, go ahead and ask, Steve.
Oh, good day.
All in favor?
There you go. Thank you, Craig.
I wasn't sure we had one on here.
I know.
I'll be disappointed for you.
Sure.
Number 12, request to advertise with the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics at a cost of $300. Is there a motion?
Motion.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
And we may need to have a special meeting if Chief runs me and puts me in a compromised health state running that next Thursday. So if you see me out running, I'm getting ready for the torch run. Honored to be with the gang on that. Seminars and travel. Number 13, request for the Planning Commission to attend Joint Planning Commission training in Hattiesburg on May 19th. Total cost $500.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think I mispronounced this last time.
Bowling.
Boom. Request for Amy Heath to attend 2023 BOAM Summer Conference in Gulfport, June 11th through the 16th, cost of $1,300.95.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request for Chief Hyatt to attend MACP Annual Conference in Biloxi, Mississippi, June 19th through the 23rd, total cost of $1059.96.
Second.
There a motion and a second?
We do the.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chief, that's probably, is that got a neat little saying, MACP?
The Mississippi Association of Chiefs of Police.
We have one of those.
Don't want to get out of hand down there that weekend, or that week. There we go. Awesome. Number 16, request for Amy Heath to attend 2023 COAA Annual Education Conference in Orange Beach, May 2nd through the 3rd. Total cost is zero.
like that
How did that happen?
Is there a motion and second, all in favor?
Uh,
Amy, she's not here, so I can say something good about her. She's highly credentialed in that, so she's fairly new as well. So some of these other folks in there, they get her to do a lot of the stuff. So she's a willing participant in all that. So she's very, very good at what she does. So anyway, number 17, request to authorize Mario Weathersby to attend investigator school at.
Motion.
Oh, motion and second for Amy.
That's
I thought we
17.
voted on
That's
that.
17. New agenda.
Oh,
We added the
I
one.
got an old
Oh, you got the old
one.
one? Well, she said, well, never mind.
I got
Number
You
seven,
don't.
Mario Weatherby to attend investigator school at the MSFA on June 12th to the 22nd, cost of $760. Got a motion, got a second? All in favor? Orders and ordinances, 18, request to adopt order promoting Melissa Barber to first-class dispatcher at a rate of $15.96 per hour effective May 3rd.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, this is the good stuff. Number 19, request to adopt ordinance 2004, establishing legal descriptions of 6 wards. Is there a motion?
Well, hold on just a second. So what I'd like for somebody to make a motion on, this one and the next item are a little bit different because they require 2 of your votes if you happen to look through the documents that were attached. So if one of you wouldn't mind making a motion to adopt sections 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the ordinance first, and we'll get a vote, and then we'll do the ordinance as a whole.
I'll make a motion with,
1, 2,
Do what
3.
he said.
3, 4.
Do what he said.
All in favor?
All in favor?
And then as a whole, do we have a motion?
Yeah.
Motion. Second.
I'll second.
All right,
All in favor?
all right. And then the next one, number
20.
20.
Redefining voting precincts.
Yes, this is just, these two go together. And do we have a motion to adopt sections 1, 2, and 3 of that ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
I got the second.
All in favor?
All right, and then do we have a motion to adopt it as a whole?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Very good, Rob.
Thank you. And then the last one, this is my request that you enter into executive session to discuss the potential purchase of real estate.
I'll make the motion.
Well, before we do, Mayor, can you, on your comments, we have the downtown Fam Jam coming up this Saturday.
Downtown Fam Jam, and what we just voted on, folks, was accepting the 2020 census. Due to growth in certain areas of the city, we ended up having to redraw our lines. So there are going to be some folks that inherited new aldermen by that vote. I don't think it's a ton, but it will also require some new voting areas. Now that, you never know when you'll have to vote, but it could be, if everything stays like we wanted, it would be, well, I guess
I think it might have.
it'll happen a little quick, could happen a little quicker with folks running for other positions.
Mine
Yeah.
says,
No.
all, us 4.
No.
Yeah, Ward 1 was perfect, if I recall.
4 of us had little population moves, but
Yeah, I'm in youth.
appreciate it. And then Valerie, you want to mention anything for the?
Saturday downtown Fam Jam from 1 until 6. Right now, we have over 50 vendors there, so it'll be one of our larger ones.
A lot of food, I'll be there.
Lots of food, lots of politicians, and then we'll also have jumps with kids and activities, so it's gonna be a great one.
Yeah, appreciate the work Valerie's doing. She's been busy.
Jumps again.
And it seems like we're trying to put some of the stuff that we've talked about a long time kind of in a position to where we can do some things, and obviously we want to make it sustainable.
For next issue, if that's fine.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I know that our road pavers have taken off for a little bit. Do we know when they're coming back?
Should be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I see some folks, did you guys do you have business that you want to talk about?
Nope.
There's your viewers, right?
Yes.
Folks, did y'all have anything you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to, ask a question and
Absolutely.
Yeah, go
plus,
ahead.
share some things. My husband suffered a heart attack and stroke last year in January. I'm very concerned. First of all, my name is Ethel Lockett. This is my husband, Howard Lockett. I'm concerned about stray animals. My husband, he comes out and he takes exercise around the house and so forth. There's a dog that keeps getting out, more than one dog, really.
And your address is?
306 West 7th Avenue.
Chief, you got that?
And the dog keep getting out and it has a chain, it belongs to somebody. And he's coming in the yard and he's going all around the house and in the backyard. And he goes through the little fence in my backyard. And then I see a couple of dogs just walking upset, you know. So I'm very concerned about that. A while back, we had a dog to attack us when we were going to church.
Wow.
And I didn't know what was wrong with the dog. The dog just kept running to my car. I was so scared, I decided to just come on to the police station. Hopefully he'll follow me, and he did. And by the time I got to the stop sign down there, he was right there. So I called the police and they came and got him and so forth. But I'm very concerned about the stray animals.
As are we. We have a major problem with people dumping dogs in the area.
Yes,
We're addressing cats.
yes,
We're
yes.
We're not euthanizing them, we're fixing them, so to speak, and then putting them back in the population. But the dog, we have a major issue right now with
Yeah.
shortage of places to put dogs. Now, Chief will tell you, and I will tell you, any of us will tell you, if you feel like that dog is endangering you, make a phone call.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to protect yourself.
Yes, sir. And then one other thing, I have a question about dispose of tires. I don't know where you all dispose of tires. I need to know.
Can, I'll talk to you out here offline for a second whenever we get through with our
Okay.
meeting.
Okay.
Technically, we don't pick
This
them
is
up,
my first
but
meeting.
have we
I've
ever-
never
have we
been
ever
one. I
picked them
always
up? Yeah, we
wanted to
have.
be one.
You're
But
welcome.
if I say on YouTube that we're
I've
gonna be
always worked, so I.
we'll have them
haven't
coming
had
from
a chance.
Jones County and
First and
Covington County
third
and
Tuesdays of the month.
every place.
Yeah,
So,
the right,
yeah.
the right to throw away will be October now.
Yeah, they changed it already one time, so they.
Yeah, appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, anytime you're safe, the protocol is, and that, I would say that to folks that happen to see this on YouTube. The protocol is, because we have this happen a ton of times. I get a phone call or Chief gets a phone call the next day. The dog was doing X, whether he was barking his head off or whatever. And by the time our officer goes by there at 3 the next day, well, it's not 3 last night. So, and if they're not witnessing it happening, and I know people get upset when, if the officer isn't witnessing it happening, the only other protocol then is to come out here and file charges against your neighbor or something. So just let them know, keep them in the loop as much as we can. Obviously, a dog running around doesn't take priority over, say, a domestic or something of that nature. But it does keep us informed when things are going on. Call me, I'll do it. And I know we've talked before.
Yes.
So yeah, anything we can do to help and make it safe. But it is it's a tough one we haven't really figured out yet.
Okay,
And we're glad you're up and moving, keep moving.
yes, yes.
Awesome. So we got seek the need to go into an executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Awesome. Thanks, man.